Tēnā rā tātou katoa, nau mai ora mai ki te ORA Apparel Bay Chat. Paraere, rua tekau mā hona o hepetema, rua mano, rua tekau mā rima o te tau. Friday, 26th September 2025. Ko Pat Ray tōku ingo, ko te whānau apunui te iwi. Welcome to the show, massive show we've got in store for you today. Lots to talk about. Plenty under 16s, boys and girls teams. We're going to talk about their results. The under 18 girls and boys, we'll talk about their results last weekend, and we'll preview their matches coming up tomorrow. Got a bit of an announcement to make around the New Zealand under 20 Women's Development Camp. We'll talk about the tour and the NAFA and their results from the weekend and where that puts them on their ladders. We'll have a look at the Volcanics' last game of their season. We'll look at the Steamers' game last Sunday. We'll preview their match coming up this Sunday. We'll talk about the Black Ferns and their semi-final last week, and we'll have a look at their third and fourth playoff coming up on Saturday night. And last of all, we'll talk about the All Blacks and Wallabies Bledisloe Cup match. So lots to get through. So Rabs, let's get going. All right, Bay of Plenty sent two teams up to the Northern Regions under 16s tournament in Whangarei last weekend. We'll have a look at the girls' results first. Their first game was against Waikato under 16s, and you can see there they won 42 points to 7. In the afternoon, they took on Counties Manukau, and they were successful in that match, 34 points to 0. And then on day 2 of the tournament, they took on Auckland, the Central West, and a very tight tussle, 14-all, which meant that Bay of Plenty went through to the final against that Auckland Central West team. And you can see the result there, Bay of Plenty 10, Auckland 7. So Bay of Plenty win the under 16 girls top division. Congratulations to them. I've got their trophy here somewhere. Here it is. So there's the Northern Regions under 16 girls trophy that will sit proudly on the rack. I managed to catch up with the coach of the Bay of Plenty under 16 girls team, Timothy Gardner, and here's what he had to say.
I'm joined on the call today by the coach 16 girls team, Timothy Gardner. Kia ora, Timothy Gardner. Kia ora, Timothy.
Yeah, good Pat. Very good, mate. Thank you. Very good, mate. Thank you.
Under 16 girls, under 16 girls. Went away to Whangarei last weekend. Come back with a trophy. How good? Come back with a trophy. How good?
Bloody awesome, mate. Given last year we lost in the final, so to be able to go that one step further this year was bloody awesome. One step further this year was bloody awesome.
Great to hear. Excellent news. I did see the bus pull out of last Friday with the under 16 boys. Tell us whereabouts did you fellas stay?
Once we got up to Whangarei, we stayed up at our Manaia camp. Which is out on Whangarei Heads there. Awesome spot. A nice cold sort of estuary there. For the team to do some recovery and after day one. Not just an awesome venue, heaps of space. And awesome opportunity for the teams to bond there. Was good.
Now, two games on day one, pool game on day two, and then the final. Tell us about day one's play.
Yeah, so day one. We played Waikato in our first game. We had actually just beaten Waikato last week. Reasonably comfortably. So the goal for me there was to get the girls to sort of wipe that game from their minds, focus on the task at hand. So game one against Waikato. They definitely put up a tougher fight. Very young team. very young team, and now is a really young team, and now the girls got the job done, and the girls got the job done in their first game, which was really good.
And who's your second game? Who's your second game?
And second game on day one was Counties Manukau in the afternoon, which we were expecting to be obviously a big side with heaps of athleticism. So our girls going into that game, we knew that was going to be a massive challenge. We knew that was going to be a massive challenge. But the girls probably played their best game of the tournament. That game. Sort of ran a little bit right. Might have been 34-0 or something like that. And the girls were just really good game. So it was a really good game.
And then, of course, you roll into day two. You roll into day with one more round robin match. Who was that against?
Yes, that's right. So day two, we started off with a game against Auckland. And with the Auckland team are similar to Counties. And their first game against Auckland, we drew that game. And I was really surprised about how technically sound they were at and they had a strong kicking game. So had us on the back foot for massive parts of their game. We were aligned for most of that game, and to come out with a draw. Our girls done really well, and gave us I guess a snapshot. That we were going to play them in the final after that game. So it gave us a snapshot of come at us in the final.
So let's jump to the final match. The game was playing Auckland because both teams would have finished on top of the table with the draw and 2 wins. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. But however, Auckland had actually drawn with Counties on day one. So they could have lulled us into a false sense of security in that pool game. Because they were definitely a strong team and really structured leading into the final. I don't know if you heard, but there was quite a big delay. There was a serious injury on our field. That sort of delayed the game probably about half an hour. So we didn't actually know whether we were going to play that game. That game. Thankfully we did. Yeah, the final. I guess it's it was as tough as it was the full game. Again, it was really tough. We got up 5-0 early. But as I said, Auckland had some big ball runners. Had some big ball runners. They're very good. Structurally, they're very good and good at set piece. Keep us down outside of the field with their kicking game. They did that for big parts of the game. And they got up and 7-5. They scored 7-5. They sort of late in the second half to go up 7-5. But the thing about our girls is resilient and talented girls in our team. And with about 3 minutes to go, held onto the ball. We started building phases and putting pressure on them, and they kept giving away penalties. Which gave us a chance to move our way out the field. Time up on the clock, we had a 5 meter. Instead of carrying like we usually have, spread the ball wide and spread the ball wide. And with a phase or two with corner with time up on the clock to win us the final. Final. Right at the end of regulation, scored the winning try by our winger. Edison Dawson, was set up by our captain, Nevaeh Harris. So the girls showed awesome skill and bit of clutchness to throw the ball wide and actually win it at the death.
That's amazing! What a great story! That's amazing! What a great story! It's been great chatting to you, Timothy. Well done on your win. Well done on the girls' win. Well done on the girls' win. To the boys winning their section of the draw. So Bay come away from that Northern Regions with 2 wins. How good? With 2 wins. How good?
Stoked, mate. It was bloody awesome.
Hey, mate, you take care. Thanks for joining me on the show. Thanks for joining me on the show.
Thanks, Pat. Cheers. Rudy. Thanks, Pat. Cheers.
Yeah, that was Team Ogana from the Bay Plenty under-16 girls team there and their result. So fantastic result for the girls to win their division. All right, let's have a look at the under-16 boys team. A great photograph there of the girls celebrating their win with their trophy. Awesome stuff. Before I carry on, a huge thanks to the whānau who sent us the images and the video clips for us to put that little story together. Without your help, we wouldn't have got that across the line. So thank you very much to the whānau that sent us all the photos and videos. All right, moving on now, we'll have a look at the boys' results. Bay of Plenty there got over Taranaki 14 points to 8 in their first pool match. And then in the second match, 22-19, they were too strong for Counties Manukau. And then we jump over to day 2. They had 2 games. Again, too strong for Northland, 24 points to 3. Northland were the hosts. And then their last round robin match, which ended up being the final because those 2 teams were top of their tables. Bay of Plenty under 16 boys 24, defeating our brothers from across the Kaimai Rangers. Waikato Red under 16, 24 points to 7, which meant that Waikato finished on top of their table. Bay of Plenty finished on top of the table in first place with 4 wins from 4. Waikato with their only loss to Bay of Plenty in their last round robin. Taranaki 3rd, Counties Manukau 4th, and Northland brought up the rear. I managed to catch up with the coach of the Bay of Plenty team, Matt Black, and here's what he had to say about the tournament.
I'm joined on the phone now by Bay of Plenty under 16 boys. Welcome to the show, Matt Black. Matt, welcome to the show.
Pat, thanks for having us along, Pat. Thanks for having us along.
Under 16 boys, Bay of Plenty Rugby. Under 16 boys, winners in rugby. In the 2025 Northern Regions under 16 tournament. How does it feel? Under 16s tournament.
Yeah, great, mate. You're really pleased with the boys. You're really pleased with the boys, and really stoked the boys with the result. We're really stoked things went their way. So no, it was things went their way. So no, it was bloody good. Obviously the girls got up too, so it was good. Obviously the girls got up too, so it was a good.
Yeah, tell us about the weekend. Tell us about the weekend. I saw your fellas bus pull away last Friday. Where did you fellas stay? Bus trip up? Where did you fellas stay?
We stayed at a camp out of Manaia, which was about 30 minutes from Whangarei. 30 minutes. It was a really neat camp on the water. A really neat camp on the water. Typical sort of scenario with all the bunk beds and all the rest of it. With all the bunk beds and all the boys and girls were both there. The boys and girls were both there. Yeah, that was our base. And then that was our base. Would pick us up the old bus in the morning and take us to the tourney in the morning and take us to the tourney. That was a really good spot. That was a really good base to stay, and like I say, good base to stay. Chill out when we got back home. And chill out when we got back home.
So the format of your competition was your 5 2 games in your pool, 2 games on day 2, and then I presume top of the table, and then I presume top of the table, one tournament.
Yeah, that's how it panned out, mate. Yeah, that's how it panned out. The final was our last game. Sort of the final was our last game. Worked out well. So
talk us through. Waikato was your opponent. Talk us through. Waikato was your opponent, and it was the last that ended up being the final. That ended up being the final. Tell us a bit about the game.
Mate, it was final, if you like. I think classic final, if you like. I think the boys were a bit sluggish in the first 2 or 3 games. Sluggish in the first 2 or 3 games. Been a long season for some of these young kids. They're a little bit tired, but they're a little bit tired. But G them up a little bit for one more push, one more game, one more push, and one more game, and that happened to be the boys came out fired up. To be honest, the boys came out fired up, and they got stuck into them. And they got stuck into them, and we scored first, and we scored first. Waikato were a bigger side than us. Waikato were a bigger side than us, a physical side, and defensively, we really stood up. We really stood up and gave it to them. So we sort of snuck ahead 14-0 into the half time. And after the break. We managed to grab another. We managed to try and a penalty, and then they scored and a penalty, and then they scored. But the old damage was done, Pat. We'd sort of the old damage was done, Pat. We'd put them away. Yeah, put them. I was really stoked for the boys. I was really stoked for the boys.
Nice. Good young bunch. And the shield that was presented to you. A little bit of history in that shield. Tell us what history in that shield. Tell us what you.
Yeah, so that was the Roller Mills shield. So that was the Roller Mills shield. That sort of went quiet for a couple of years. A few years now. That's come back on board. Now that's come the Northern Regions Shield, which is awesome. It just happened to be the 100th year. Just happened to be the 100th shield to be played for. That shield to be played for. Nice to be a little. Nice to be a little well. So that history as well. So
excellent.
It was a bonus.
Excellent. All right, Mr. Matt. Excellent. All right. Before we go, one last question. Did you uncover any future Leroy or Monies or pussies in your team? Anyone you want to name drop? Do you want to name drop?
I won't name drop any. I won't name drop any. Quite young and a bit shy and get a bit embarrassed. Young and a bit shy and get a bit embarrassed. There's some real good talent there coming through. There's some real good talent there coming boys and girls, I've managed to watch a few of the girls games too, mate. And they're really exciting. And they're really exciting there and about to come through there and about to come through out of school. So.
No worries. All right, Matt. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for joining us.
Sweet, man. Cheers, mate. Yeah.
And there's a photograph of the boys celebrating their win, holding the Roller Mills shield, which I just happen to have beside me now. There's the Northern Regions Roller Mills shield, which was repurposed after the end of the Northern Regions Roller Mills tournament, which was a weight-restricted under-13s tournament just before COVID. The trophy took a bit of a hiatus during that COVID period. And then once the Northern Regions launched the under-16s tournament, the trophy was put back up for grabs. Interestingly enough, Bay of Plenty, who won this trophy this year, it is the 100th year that the trophy's been in existence. So a little bit of nostalgia for the boys from the under-16s team picking up that trophy in its 100th year. So all in all, bloody good weekend for the two Bay of Plenty teams that went away last weekend to the Northern Regions tournament in Whangarei. Hats off to the Northland Rugby Union staff for facilitating that two-day event. The Northern Regions provinces take turns at hosting that tournament. And this year was Whangarei's turn, or Northland's turn, to host that tournament. So we'll wait and see where next year's under-16s tournament is. And the under-16s can take this trophy to that and defend it. Okay, moving on. The under-18s, we're up to that stage of the tournament for them. We'll talk about the girls first. Their result from last weekend, Bay of Plenty under-18 girls 29. They were too strong for Counties Manukau here at Blake Park. And our under-18 boys team, disappointing trip to ORA Domain. The Auckland Girls under-18s, too strong for our under-18 boys, 57 points to 0. Both of those teams are rolling into playoffs this weekend, the Northern Regions crossovers. Here you can see Bay of Plenty finished top of their table with 2 wins from 2 over Waikato and Counties. And so Bay of Plenty will roll into the final. And here in the boys division, you can see Auckland Girls finish top of the table. Bay of Plenty comes second, Counties Manukau third, and Waikato finish at the bottom of the table. So what that means is Bay of Plenty under-18 girls will take on Auckland Central West under-18 girls here in Greerton tomorrow morning at 12 p.m. And that is the final for first and second between the Chiefs pool and the Blues pool. So they're playing a crossover final. And then at 2 o'clock on the number 2 field at Greerton, Bay of Plenty will host Auckland 1A under-18 boys. Auckland 1A finished second in the Blues pool. Bay of Plenty finished second in the Chiefs pool. So those two teams will play each other for second in Northern Regions. Both the Auckland and the Bay of Plenty teams that are playing tomorrow were heavily affected by New Zealand Rugby's under-18 program that happened last week. Both of them had large numbers of their players participating in the New Zealand Rugby under-18s program. So they were both heavily affected. And here you can see the results. This is what the Auckland teams, their results over their last 3 games. So they were too strong. Oops, just go back, Grab. So they were too strong for Northland. They went down to North Harbour the weekend. They lost all their players, and they were got over their divisional under-18 boys team. So those are the 3 games that Bay of Plenty, the Bay of Plenty's opposition, will have had leading into the final. Okay, so we've had a surprise development overnight. New Zealand Rugby announced the Under-20s Women's Development Camp. It's coming up on the 17th and 21st of October at the NZCIS. Congratulations to Phoenix Reed Stowers, Jordan Tihore and Kokako Raki, 3 standout players from the Volcanics who've been selected for that camp. So well done, kapai to you ladies. Looking forward to seeing your fellas' growth and development continue on this decoy of yours down the path of performance rugby. So that camp is on the 17th to 21st of October in Wellington. So we wish those 3 ladies the best of luck at that development camp. Okay, coming up, we'll talk about the tour and the NAFA. Their programs come to an end. Let's have a look at their results from the weekend. Both those games played at Blake Park. North Harbour brought their under-19s and development teams to the Sunny Bay. It was a gorgeous day at Blake Park. Unfortunately, not a great result for Bay of Plenty. Both the tour and the NAFA went down, 62 points to 19. The NAFA got beaten, and in quite a tight match for a little while, 45 points to 26. North Harbour too strong. So whilst their NPC team struggles and languishes at the bottom of the NPC table, both their under-19s and development teams going really well. So here we can see the tour table. So they finished in 6th place, 1 place above counties. That tournament was won by a very strong Waikato under-19 team. 6 from 6, clean slate. Auckland coming 2nd and North Harbour coming in 3rd place. And we have a look at the NAFA table. Well, they've had a better season. They come in 2nd place. Counties Manukau won that competition. Used to be called the Coronation Shield back in the day. Bay of Plenty, NAFA coming in at 2nd place with the Waikato Invitational team, the New Zealand Harlequins coming in at 3rd, and then North Harbour, Auckland, Taranaki and Northland make up the 7. So both the tour and the NAFA, their competitions are done and dusted. They're over and out, and we'll look forward to their coming back in 2026. Righto, let's take a quick look at the Volcanics. They had their final match of their competition last weekend. They played Canterbury in Christchurch. Unfortunately, they didn't get the dub. They went down 46 points to 12. But their win over the Hawke's Bay Tui 2 weeks ago sealed their position in the Premiership for 2026. So here you can see Waikato, Canterbury, Manawatu and Auckland Storm. They've got their semi-finals this weekend. Counties Manukau, Bay of Plenty finished outside the top 4. And unfortunately, the Hawke's Bay Tui will be relegated into the Championship division next year. And their place will be taken by the Otago Spirit, who were too strong over the Northland Cody in last week's Championship final. Let's get to this weekend's games, and we'll just have a quick squiz. The Steamers got over the top of Manawatu in a 10-try tri-fest in Palmerston North last Sunday, 55 points to 19. They won 5 tries and a bonus point by halftime. So very good performance by the Steamers over the Manawatu Turbos, which sets them up for a good battle this weekend. And here we can see the tables obviously hasn't been updated to include last night's Auckland thrashing that they got at the hands of Hawke's Bay. So currently Hawke's Bay is sitting in 4th place, Bay of Plenty just outside the top 4 in 5th place. But the table's very tight. Rach, you just scroll down a touch. You can see, just pop out. You can have a look here. The 22, 24, 25, 24. Hawke's Bay are on 30, but 26. So you can see Bay of Plenty's position in the top 8 is still not guaranteed. We're on 26 points, another 2 wins, and we could finish as high as 2nd. But if we miss out on some points, you could finish as low as 8th. So it's still a very squashed table, and the Steamers will be looking to get over the top of their opponents this weekend, which is Waikato. So Battle of the Kaimais. Oh, go back a slide. We got this week's game. We have it. Don't worry about it. I'll just talk about it. So this week, obviously, the Steamers are taking on Waikato at Tauranga Domain 2:05 on Sunday afternoon. Interesting relation. I'm just going to highlight this jersey here. If you can have a look, it's a Waikato and Bay of Plenty jersey sewn together. I'll just read the caption of it. Waikato NPC versus Bay of Plenty NPC, October the 2nd, 2022 at FMG Stadium. Presented as part of Waikato Rugby's centenary celebrations. 2 proud New Zealand provincial unions doing battle for over a century. And that jersey was presented to Bay of Plenty Rugby in 2022. It was partly to recognise the fact that Bay of Plenty Rugby had to host Waikato's NPC games when we went into COVID lockdown 2.0 and everybody was doing a runner from lockdown, and Waikato Northland had to play some home games here in Tauranga. Waikato set themselves up at Greaton, and Greaton hosted them there. We also had Northland come down here, and there was Northland played Otago at Rotorua. Waikato played Taranaki at the Tauranga Domain, and Bay of Plenty Rugby community team were responsible for delivering those matches. So quite a tight relationship between the 2 provinces. Brothers off the field, fiercely competitive on the field, and this week makes no difference. Just going to touch on the curtain raiser for this Sunday. It is also, before I do that, just up for grabs, we've got the Chiefs Cup. Bay of Plenty Steamers are the current holders of the Chiefs Cup, and the Nathan Strongman Memorial Trophy, which is also up for grabs this Sunday in the main game at 2:05. But I do want to talk about at 11:30 on Sunday, the Bay of Plenty Police Rugby team are taking on their counterparts from across the Kaimai Ranges. Waikato Police Rugby team are playing in the curtain raiser. They're also playing for what's known within police rugby circles as the Chiefs Cup. Bay of Plenty Police are current holders of that, having defeated Waikato last year in the curtain raiser at FMG Stadium. So if you want to come along and watch a couple of, there'll be 30 referees on the field, plus the poor, sorry soul, Peter Morgan, who has to try and control 30 police officers on a rugby field. Good luck with that, Pete. Police rugby can be brutal. Last year's game, I believe, there was a couple of hospitalisations, so let's not have hope for any of that this weekend. But police rugby, they're always fiercely competitive amongst themselves. They'll probably all claim that they're playing in an all-black trial of some description. So a little bit of fun before the main game. 11:30 at the Tauranga Domain this Sunday for the curtain raiser, with the main game kicking off at 2:05. All right, we're nearly done for the show. Let's just have a quick look at the Black Ferns last week. We all know Canada were too strong for the Black Ferns, 34 points to 19. So they'll go to the 3rd and 4th playoff, which is against France. And it's good to see Stacey Waka from Ruatoki still in the centre spot. Great to see Georgia Miller recover from her injury, back on the number 7 jersey. We're excited to see a superstar in the making, Braxton Sorensen McGee, and go well. And I believe it's Portia Woodman-Wycliffe's last game for the Black Ferns. So, excuse me, that game kicks off 11:30 p.m. on Saturday night, live on Sky Sport. All All right, last item from the agenda, we'll have a quick chat about the All Blacks versus the Wallabies, the first Bledisloe Cup match for the season at the Garden of Eden Park. An earlier kickoff, 5:05 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, evening-ish. There's the team. Our own Leroy Carter makes again the starting 15, so really excited to see Leroy switch to the right side of the field with Caleb Clark coming in on the left wing. So great to see Leroy get another start. Proud Tauranga Boys College, Tauranga Sports, Bay of Plenty Steamer, and Chiefs and All Blacks. So that game's live on Sky Sport. Coverage starts from 4 p.m. 5 o'clock kickoff, Eden Park. So if you've got nothing to do tomorrow, there's a big load of Northern Regions under-18s, boys and girls games being played at Greater Maris Rugby Club. 4 girls games kicking off at 12 p.m. with the Bay of Plenty's under-18 girls in the final on Greater Maris number 1. Followed by the boys games, there's 4 boys games kicking off at 2 p.m. at Greater Maris with Bay of Plenty's under-18s taking on Auckland 1A at 2 p.m. on the number 2 field. A huge thanks to all of the Bay of Plenty Rugby sponsors. Without the sponsors, our team and this organisation wouldn't function. There's loads scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Too many to mention now. That's us for now. We've probably got a couple more shows. The number of shows we've got will depend on how deep into the playoffs the Steamers will go. So we've got one more show guaranteed, which is next Friday, where we will preview the Steamers match against Wellington, and we will have a look at the Waikato results from this weekend. That's the show for now. Thank you very much for joining us. Take care, and we'll see you all again next Friday. Noho ora mai.